Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Antiheroes Anonymous, or welcome for the first time if it's your first time joining us. I'm Ethan, and I'm the Dungeon Master for this 5th edition
Dungeons & Dragons show!
I'll have some announcements and a recap, but before any of that, we will go ahead and do a quick round of player introductions.
Hi, I'm Aster. I play Embers of White Ash, the Tabaxi's Sun Soul Monk.
Hi, I'm Kay, and I play Lady Elwyn Amalos, who is in the Elvish Circle of the Land Druid.
Hi, I'm Gabo, and I play Art, the Dragonborn Battlemaster Fighter.
Hi, I'm Zach, and I play Vert, the Changeling Armor Artificer.
It was ticklish. Thank you, everyone. Those announcements. We premiere our episodes on YouTube every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific Time. Throughout the campaign, we use a variety of custom items, custom monsters, all that fun custom stuff, so be aware of that as you're watching. The character portraits, which you'll see once we switch to our main layout, were done by an artist named Zyra Brittany, who goes by @Xylavy on Twitter. If you need a refresher on anything that's going on in this campaign, you can check out our campaign wiki at World Anvil. You can also check us out on our socials. Our handle is Antiheroes Anonymous, and there's a link to our card down in the description. You can also check the video description for links and information to everything else I just mentioned and more, including some links to trans rights, Black Lives Matter, and Stop Asian Hate resources. Finally, we just hope you enjoy the show, share with your friends, and come back to watch some more. But with all of that said, let's go ahead and roll the intro video. And welcome back. Previously on Antiheroes Anonymous, the Silver Seekers have been doing stuff, but that's not how this recap starts. The former soldier known as Art arrived in Amberhearth at the start of the Restoration Festival, where everyone welcomed him in, except for Vert, who recognized Art from his mother's execution. When the dragon spirit Nyadon learned that Art was an Imperial officer, it tried to kill him, leading Vert to share some of his secrets. The rest of the festival was peaceful until the closing ceremony, where a surge of elemental power overtook the trainee seeker Eustace, and after the seekers drove out that force, they learned it came from another seal that Cephalosk had broken, and that the ancient Primordials still want their world back. And that's where we left off last session. So, the festival has ended. I'm going to cut off the theme music.
Abrupt.
Yep, sorry. Cut off the theme music.
That's exactly how it goes.
Thanks for that.
The festival has ended, and ended with a bang. But the group of you are able to kind of return to your your keep at the end of the festival, and settle in there. If there's anything you want to do specifically the night of the festival, the table's yours, but otherwise you can take a long rest and we can pick up the next morning.
Long rest is good.
Yep.
I don't think there's anything I want to do on the festival day.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay, so everyone settles down into their bedrooms or window cubbies in the case of Embers, storage closet in the case of Art. And there's sort of the tiredness from all of the walking around at the festival and all of the excitement with everything that happened during it kind of just washes over all of you, and everyone has a peaceful night's sleep. And you wake up refreshed to the sunrise over Amberhearth. What do you want to do?
We need to have a talk with our group.
Yeah, Art, tell us what brought you here? Like, what do you need from us?
I thought we already had that talk. The talk I was talking about was telling Art about the League of Terrors.
Oh.
And explaining what was going on.
That's also true.
Because I think we promised him yesterday, and then we got back to the keep, and we were all like, fuck that, we're tired.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. My familiar is out right now. My comfort cat familiar.
Meow.
Yeah, I think last night went sort of like Nexuses. What?
Yeah,
What?
yeah,
and like
yeah,
just
yeah.
a what after every
And we're
single
like,
thing
we'll
that Vert said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we will get to that later.
Speaking a different language in front
Let's
of you.
let's go back and we'll
That's
have a
true.
nice long rest, and we will get to that in the morning. So maybe Elwyn wakes up early as she is wont to do, and she goes, because she doesn't really sleep, she just trances, right? So she'll go down and start getting a big breakfast together, like a big pot of coffee and stuff going, and then
Basil is down there in his disguise as Norin when you come into the kind of dining room kitchen area, and he's already got like a cup of coffee for himself, but he kind of sees you come in and gives you a wave and says he has to remember his accent.
do I need to talk some more so you can kind of get there?
My niece, there you are.
Good morning, Uncle.
Good morning. I've been meaning to gather the group together at some point. I've been thinking of some options for diplomatic allies we could seek out, given the current crisis that this world seems to be in, and I've got a couple ideas. So when we get a chance, we should gather the group together.
Well, I was going to gather the group together this morning anyway, because we kind of need to read Art in. Did Vert talk to you last night about the attack on the city that happened yesterday?
I got a brief overview, but I could see it from the walls of the keep. I was sitting up there having dinner and looking out over the city, and I saw it happen.
Yeah, it was related to the Nexuses and the League of Terrors. So,
Yeah, he kind of frowns, and he's got a whole bunch of like papers around, and he kind of like looks down at his papers. I've got a lot of ideas for potential allies we could seek out. I really need input for which one might be best.
all right, that sounds great. We can talk about it over breakfast.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, so Ellen gets to work like just throwing breakfast together for people, and as people come down, she like sets them up at the table with food and until the table's full.
Is it like leftover venison and herbs and...
No, it's
Ellen
like
would prepare that
no.
stuff.
I did not make any meat. I made eggs. Eggs I can stomach. I don't eat them, but I can make them, and lots of breads and toasts and pastries, or like pancakes or something.
And good berries.
No, but real berries.
Yeah.
Great berries.
Real berries. And fruit. And
The best berries.
Yep.
Rare berries.
Once everyone's sitting down. Well, Art, I think we owe you an explanation. Please buckle up, because this is some pretty larger than us kind of stuff. And we're still trying to digest it. She kind of looks to Vert to kind of lead the explanation.
For the League of Terrors?
Yeah.
Well, there's a group that we've been battling, and that's trying to create a bunch of chaos in the Thracian Empire. The League of Terrors is what they go by. Have you heard of them?
Have I? That was my...
I mean, roll. Just do it as like a
Ethics check.
perception check, I guess, to see if you had like picked up on any conversations in taverns or anything like that. It's going to be a very high DC.
Oh, that's really bad. That's a 9. So
No, it's a first time you're hearing this
Okay.
this group's name.
So, for whatever reason, they are seeking out what's called a nexuses in this country, and These are like primal energies that hold great power.
Like magic power?
Yeah, so
Or-
like what you saw last night, that was a nexus. When I reviewed Eustace's memory, I got a glimpse of one of the League of Terror's members breaking a seal on one of the nexuses. And that caused, I think, some type of chain reaction or some type of, eruption sort of to occur in this burst of energy that you saw take place in Eustace. And also, he gestures to the construct that is that wind energy, also this, which is containing the power of the wind nexus for us.
I have a question. It's semi.
Just one question?
No, many. Like semi above table.
Yeah.
So you're still Tim, right? And you're a dwarven man.
Yep.
What are your clothes and general vibe like? Because in my mind, like, there was all inconsistency and like but I perceive you to be and what you're able to do. Because I think Art gets stuck on like you reviewed his memory?
Yeah.
Is
That's
that fair?
That's a strange sounding power.
Yeah.
So... Well, I have him as a blonde-haired dwarven man, with a long beard, and let's see. You want like an actual like full description, or like?
Well, like, does he wear a lot of like Vert's magical artifact thing, like the things that Vert uses to cast his spells? I assume he would.
Yeah, like,
'Cause all of
is
her
he like
spells are channeled through
visibly?
items.
Does he visibly give off like, oh, this is some sort of magic person, or does it feel very?
He is,
Like,
yeah,
out of-
I would say he
Okay,
gives off
okay,
the
okay.
air of like someone like who casts magic. I mean, you
Okay.
saw him cast some magic, and he seems to know what he's talking about when it comes to these things.
No, I
He's
definitely
probably got
believe
like
you.
a lot of magical items on him that a lot
Yeah.
of his power seems to channel through.
Okay.
Yeah, Right. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna stare at you. This is a lot of information.
Yeah. I mean, the good news is that it's sort of it's bad now, but it's an opportunity for us in disguise. Tim can make these machines that allow us to harness the power, and if he makes us another one, we'll be even more powerful.
Does the Empire know about this League of Terrors?
I'm sure they do.
Well, the Emperor Stratos at least knows about them. He was invited to join the Mystic Land. At least that's information we got.
Right.
We're not sure what they want other than to create a safe haven for the monsters that used to roam.
Yeah, if you remember the Age of Tyranny, they kind of want to bring that back.
But why? What would they gain from
Freedom?
Huh.
A world where they're not persecuted just simply for who they are. But if it means taking us all out to do it, well, that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
But I wish I knew how the nexuses fit into their plans. And how they were able to connect to Eustace using them. That part I don't understand.
So that, and I point to the construct, that is a nexus.
It's containing a nexus.
Do you know where the other ones are?
We know where
We know where two of them
two
are?
of them are.
Including the one this is connected to.
I might know a little bit more information.
You specifically know where the cold nexus is, because you
Yes.
encountered that in Twin Towns. You know where the wind nexus is because it's contained within your construct.
Yep.
You know where the magma nexus is because it is split into two constructs in Vogma.
Yep.
I think those are the only ones you know specifically. You saw another one in a vision, but I don't know if you specifically identified where it is. If you want to roll like a history check at advantage,
Okay.
How many are
you
there
might
in total?
recognize the
I
city.
think
Can I
Or,
also
like, do
roll
we
this
know
if-
that?
If he's
We
he's
don't.
described the vision, he's
Yeah.
off from memory.
Yeah, because you've traveled all around.
Yeah.
I'm giving Vert advantage. Embers is not going to have
Yeah,
advantage
yeah,
with
yeah.
this, though.
I think I know where it is, but I rolled anyways. Let's see.
Oh, that looks like a good roll.
I got a dirty 20.
I got a 25.
Okay. I think
Damn.
both of you would recognize it, but for different reasons. Embers, you've traveled all around the Empire back in your wandering days. And it's a major city, so you absolutely would have passed through. Vert, it's a place that you visited probably a couple times when you were young with your father when he would go on diplomatic trips. It was the city Fulerith, which is the capital of Vidun. And it's basically a series of islands in the middle of a very large lake that the city has then been built up on top of. And there are these floating bridges that extend to the land, and they can be lowered down into the water to defend the city. And then there's this literally giant tower on one of the islands that kind of overlooks it all.
So, yes, we know where a few of them are.
So is the move to get to them before the League of Terrors can, make them...
I mean, that would be ideal. We've yet to accomplish it. Usually you're doing damage control more than anything.
Well,
Because you don't know where any of them are.
I think also that might be the purpose of today's discussion, is to decide how we're going to act.
Yes.
So, the answer is we don't know yet.
I see.
Art, having heard mention of the city of Fulerith, where this nexus is, would you roll a history check at advantage?
Oh, shoot.
Okay. $15.
Okay, I think that's enough. The city of Fulerith is to the west of the city you were once given a governorship over, to the west of the city of Bryvinth. The city of Bryvinth has a history. It's not really an important city anymore, but a long time ago it was an important city. It was a place where, in ancient times, supposedly a silver dragon by the name of Bryvinth took up residence and established a kind of like a presence there to keep watch on the blue dragon Vidun, who had made its lair over in Fulerith. And so it was kind of meant to keep the city of keep the dragon Vidun in check. Was the kind of the original purpose of why the settlement was established. So you know that it is not far to the west of the city you had governorship over.
And that is also, as far as I know, where they're keeping Lumbra, or where they would be. That's the last,
Arias said that there were complications with, legal complications with how to deal with Lumbra because of the things that make Lumbra special.
Yeah.
And so there's a possibility that Lumbra might still be in Bryvinth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he looks sheepish for a moment and says, well, I was actually hoping to head that direction myself, so maybe this is a two birds, one stone situation.
Right. The other day, the day you came to visit us, the first day we met, you mentioned something about a friend in Vidun?
My companion, yes. My companion and I were separated after I was jailed, and I haven't seen her since. And the only hint I have as to her whereabouts is in Vidun. But I can't be certain. But this League of Terrors sounds serious, and, I can check out and see if, my companion is there, and... but we can also check out this nexus as well. If I think at this point he realizes. Never mind. I'm gonna keep it like that unless anyone asks
for
anything.
y'all, I paused the slideshow so you can see the map.
yes.
Lovely.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, so on the map you can see Bryvanth is there, kind of on the border of Ardelir and Vidun, and then Fulerith is in the middle of that massive
I'm not
lake
gonna see your mouse pointer.
That's for us.
I know. Okay.
to the west. So,
And isn't Night Mantis still over in Vidun as well? Isn't that where she said she was going?
she was headed to Fulerith.
Yeah.
to Flareth.
And is that where
She did say that there was something there that was worrying her. Could it have been connected to the Nexus? Do you think?
So, before Night Mantis left, she mentioned having overheard a conversation between her aunt, and I don't think she was sure who her aunt was talking to. But things that she had heard then and didn't understand at the time reminded her of her experiences with the group of you and the Wind Nexus.
Right.
And so she was going there to
She
check
went
out.
to investigate, and we haven't really heard from her since she left.
And one last question, DM.
Mhm.
Is this where Emilio would be?
Yeah, last Emilio's mother had
Yeah.
any information about Emilio. Was Emilio him?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Last Emilio's mother had known Emilio was in
In Vidun.
Fulerith specifically.
Okay, so I think I'll mention that as well.
But that was also like 5 years ago.
No,
at least. 4 years ago.
Well, yeah, last time she saw him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a starting point.
Yeah, I think I'll mention that as well. I also made a promise to a fallen companion that I would check in on her son. Unfortunately, I have no way of knowing for certain if he's there, but that's where he was last.
Well, then it sounds like all signs point to Polaris.
Well, what about our diplomatic options? And he'll turn to Norin.
Well, I was hoping that you'd ask. I've been doing some thinking. We have a lot of options. I think what I would suggest as the most likely option to bear useful fruit would be to send me and maybe a few other of the Silver Seeker recruits to the Kingdom of Freydin. Their king and queen have a bit of a reputation for action, and I think they might stand with us if we were able to convince them. Some other options. There's the Elderhaven reaches far to the east. They don't have a unified government just yet, but there are emerging factions, as I understand it, and that country was protected from outside threats just like this League of Terrors for a very long time by a powerful magical effect created by some great spirits there, as I understand it. So if we could get their great spirits on our side, perhaps we could benefit from some of those protections. Some other options that I thought of. I've heard rumors of this insurgency, this group of rebels that is showing rebellion against the Empire. I don't know that the League of Terrors would be on their radar, and it might not be something that they would be interested in pursuing, but I think perhaps if the heir to Vagma were to speak in favor, it might be something that we could arrange. There's also, and he kind of glances at Elwyn here and says, well, there's a place I know of called Alvaria. It's a haven of elves in the Iron Republic. Not known for their military might, but there are some powerful spellcasters there. Could be a place to look for some allies.
I'm not sure they would do much to help outside nations. They're more... Well, you know how elves can be. They protect their own first. They don't really care much about the outside world.
There's a reason they're this far down on my list. It's an option we could pursue. I don't know if it's one likely to bear much fruit. He gestures. He sees or have a thought and kind of gestures for you to interrupt if you want to.
The heir of Vagma.
Apparently, the king of Vagma had a son, and if he could be located, it could be something we could turn to our advantage. Do you want to roll an insight check?
Yes.
Oh, I rolled a natural 20.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go Basil.
Is the air in the
I
room
got a
with you right now?
I got a 19.
He's got enough charisma to bump that up. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think Elwyn sees where this is going and breaks the tension by saying, well, I agree it's a good idea to reach out to Freyden. I believe Nadia has connections to the royal family over there, so she might even be able to get you over there quickly.
Well, that could be helpful. I do think that is our most promising prospect. There are a few other options, but they get less and less reliable as I go down the list. I heard tell from your UNT friend, that Kashura, that the Dragonborn who the older one who came back recently.
Right, Patrix?
Yes. That he found a group of UNT nearby in Daegu, a city called Kandar, who don't seem to be affiliated with this league.
I see.
Could be an option. Your friend Charm also at one point mentioned colonies of her people in the Spellscar Desert who are apparently working with the League, but don't have any particular loyalty to them. Perhaps we could sway them and then interfere with the League's plans that way. There's also the Drow of Lumera, who are historic allies of Vagma.
Yes, I fully intend to reach out to them as well.
And there's the Weaver's Drow in the deeper city of Tenebris. From what little I heard, it sounds like that might be a possibility with Weaver's new turns in interests.
Yeah, I would imagine they would be on our side, but I would imagine there would be strings attached. We'd have to actually get to them and liberate them first, if I understood Shay correctly. What's her name?
Shava?
Shava. If I understood Shava correctly.
Strings or webs attached.
That's why I said that.
Yeah.
And the final option I might present is we know these foes come to us from different worlds. If there are foes from other worlds, perhaps there are allies to be found on other worlds as well, if we had a means of reaching them.
We might.
You might?
We're working on that. It's not a matter of reaching them, it's a matter of knowing where they are. And if they're out there at all.
That's why it's the most nebulous one on the list. It's at the very bottom. A long shot, perhaps, but there might be others out there who could help us.
Well, I don't know about you all, but I think we should start where we know we're going to succeed. And if that means Freyden, I could attempt to send a messenger to Alvaria. I'm not sure how much sway I would have.
I think those are good places to send our agents and our words, but as far as action to take, I don't want to put off my promise to Kashira for very long. I would like to take some action with UNT once we get back from Valerith.
Is Kashura here for this meeting? Was she invited, or is this more impromptu in the morning when everyone's woken up?
I think it's impromptu in the morning.
We can always reach out. I don't see a problem with that. Outreach with the UNT, especially if Kishore is going to join us and help us.
Thank you.
Whether we do that ourselves or whether we send an envoy. As far as immediate action, I would like to go to council as soon as possible and tell them all we know.
I think that's a great idea. There's no reason for people to be kept in the dark about this.
Especially given what happened yesterday. They deserve to know. And that might lead to other doorways and other avenues of garnering allies and working up support.
Does Art, balk at all at the idea of other worlds?
Oh yeah, he's like, I
He's
think
like
at this
hyperventilating.
point, with everything that's been mentioned and his -2 intelligence, I think he's just like a bit in awe, and there's just a kind of like giving up on trying to understand everything, and just like the vastness of the world and everything going on feels like
It's
a lot to
It's a
him.
lot.
I know how you feel. I had the same reaction when Kishore told us about all this. It is so far beyond anything that I thought the League was even capable of. But I've seen their ships. They're around us all over. And based on what Kishore has said, they're launching a bid not just against our world, but the others.
Honestly, I would like to very much not think about that right now.
Yes.
We're all struggling with it.
One small step at a time, maybe.
Yeah, focus on the things we can do.
I think one thing he's like questioning, I don't know that he necessarily voices it, is like, if there's this huge threat, like why isn't the Empire doing anything about it? But I think
That's the question.
Roll an insight check. You were in the Empire's inner workings for a bit.
13.
Yeah, I mean, this mention of like Emperor Stratos getting an invitation to join this league, and then declining it, but then not doing anything. But it's weird, but you don't see how the pieces fit together yet.
I think it just further I think it just further proves to him that he made the right choice in his recent choices, you know. And there's no turning back.
Not to blow Art's mind even further, but I think Ember's just pipes this. The Emperor is a dragon beyond the stars.
I didn't know that, right? Like, there's no way. What would I know, like, given my family
Not
history
specifically a
with
dragon, but yeah,
you
he's
know.
from beyond the stars. Well, roll a history check. You'll know some basics regardless of how this goes.
Yeah.
Roll like 4.
I think what I
Okay, new dice. Who this? And I love that you know how I have -2 int, but I did pick proficiency in history because I felt like that Yes, but I love that for me because that's a dirty 20.
Okay. You're gonna know like all the basics. So,
Buckle up,
history. Here we go.
Oh boy.
So this continent was first inhabited by giants and dwarves long ago, but then dragons came from somewhere and began to war with the giants, and essentially took over this continent. And for a long while, the dragons ruled this land. And it was not a kind rule for the most part. But then the histories say that Emperor Stratos, and this was thousands of years ago still at this point, came with the metallic dragons, a different type of dragons that had scales that shimmered with metallic colors and things like that, gold and silver and bronze. As well as the Dragonborn arrived at this time with Emperor Stratos. the histories don't say where he came from, but they say that he wasn't from here and he came here. And he basically began a war with
The War of Liberation.
With the chromatic dragons, seeking to overthrow them and free this continent from them. And they were successful.
Yeah.
And not only did they overthrow the dragons, but they controlled them, which gave rise to the Draco Spears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the part that sticks out is like he knows the history very well given his family and his own historical ties to like this event. But I think you know how tales are passed down over the years and how, you know, some things are flourished here and there. So I don't think I think he thought it was symbolic maybe of like, oh, this like
it's just a story.
Yeah. I didn't think he really believed like, oh, this being, like the Emperor is actually from another world.
The other key part to this is that supposedly the Emperor and the dragons, the metallic dragons, brought magic with them and gave it to the people to empower the people to help throw off their oppressors.
I thought that was fairy tales, quite honestly.
No, we've met people from space.
Whoa.
Somewhere Esme sneezes. And Europe goes blurp.
Yeah, I think that Embers was just assuming that Stratos was also a dragon because she knows Esme was a dragon and they were partners, so they must both be dragons, right?
Yeah, I mean it's a potential fair assumption.
Embers might be wrong.
No, he's taking everything you say at like, oh shit, yeah, wow. He looks around at all of you. I'm just realizing I don't know shit.
Welcome to the Silver Saviors. Neither do we.
I don't know how helpful I'll be to you all, but I want to help you in your mission of stopping all of this.
Art, without you yesterday, I don't think we could have saved everyone. If you can fight like you fought yesterday, you will help us plenty.
Sure as hell will try. I do, for the sake of laying it all out there, because all of you are being so honest and open about everything, even though I'm understanding like half of it, being completely honest with you all. I mentioned my friend's son that I'm on the lookout for, and I also kept mentioning a companion. This companion is she is more than likely under Empire custody. So I will follow you to Vidun, but I want to make it clear that if you guys don't want to fuck with that, like I understand.
Oh,
like I won't
Can't be
ask
worse
any
than
of
Grey
you
Mantle,
to.
right?
Right. I don't think.
Wait, what?
Art doesn't know
Yeah,
we
what?
were at Grandma's yet. Well, as long as everything's on the table.
Wait, have I seen the milk thing?
No.
Like, can I piece two and two together?
Wait, were you there? Were
yeah.
you there when Embers pulled it out to? You used it for something.
I did.
During the festival. What was it?
Yeah, I was it was when we were at the ant place. What did you call it?
Antoinette's Ale House?
Yes, Antoinette's Ale House.
Yes.
I like asked Nora to bring me like a bucket so that I could pour myself some milk.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Can I put two and two together? Wait.
Well, I
Grey
mean, even
Mantle.
if we don't above table tell him the real reason we were there, we have Adrix. Adrix was there.
Yeah.
So he's gonna figure it out sooner or later.
Yeah. We have very recently caused the Empire some problems.
Wait. He thinks back to the office covered in milk and how impossible it was to find anything.
Can I say Embers is right now drinking milk?
I'm slowly taking a drink.
Was that you? And he turns to like all of you. Were you the ones who caused that commotion at the penitentiary?
Yeah. Yes. Naturally.
You're looking at the Wormbless Crusader himself.
If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here right now. That's the event that allowed me to escape.
We know.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Drinks his drink.
It means you were meant to be here with us. And it means we're meant to help you. And you're meant to help us. That's what I think.
I think I'm gonna say you. I think you notice because you're very
Oh yeah, plus
you're
11
very
insight.
yeah locked in.
Mm-hmm.
I think you notice that there's a little bit that Art is still not sharing about this companion. I'll leave it up to you as a player if you want to like
She's not gonna
dig deeper now.
She's not
but
gonna
you know there's
break you all
something
the calls
else
here in front of everyone.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I will file that away for later. I would say
He's still processing everything.
let's take it one step at a time. Let's make it to Polaris. Let's see what we're dealing with.
We're not even going to be leaving today. I mean,
Yeah,
Tim
we'll need
needs
to
to build
prepare.
another machine before we can go.
So for the Nexus, there is a complication with what you did before.
Fresh out of dragons in his brain
Yes.
to control it.
You need someone to
Which
be
Embers
constantly
doesn't know.
applying
Yep.
willpower to control the Nexus. And you do not have a willing volunteer for that.
Yeah.
Wait.
That might be a bit.
It's okay. We don't know this.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Do I know about this?
I don't know.
I can't remember if you told
I
her
think
that.
you talked.
I, as a player, did
Details.
not understand like half of that sentence. That's why I'm
alright.
like,
Yeah,
wait.
you see Tim kind of like pull his beard
I think-
thoughtfully, and he's
I
like,
feel like you would have shared it. Yeah, but go ahead.
I don't know if we can control another one.
Yeah, it's a bit more complicated than just having a machine.
What do you need?
I'm going to roll an insight check here.
Yeah, go ahead.
You said he needs a dragon?
No. Above table, I said we're fresh out of dragons.
It's not very good. It's 11.
What are you trying to find out?
I'm trying to figure out if this is like another big secret that Vert is keeping from me.
So, like, I would say, like, you don't get the sense that if it is a big secret to you, it's, like, not on purpose. Like, it's just, he doesn't, I don't think he can keep track
He's
of
not actively trying to keep it from you.
Yeah.
Right?
You know,
It's
Vert
technical details.
it's technical
Okay.
details, but it's also, like, Vert is really bad at just, like,
Yeah.
coming clean.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so, like, he tries to do that as little as possible,
Gotcha,
as you've
okay.
noticed. So it's not like he's trying to be like, oh no, another secret, right?
Mhm.
You'll never find it, haha. Yeah, it's nothing like that. So he says, yeah, well, you see, this one, and he points to the construct. This one kind of has a, we have a telepathic link. It's actually a, what do you call this thing?
Host?
Yeah, it actually has its own mind, and
Oh.
it's.
Conscious.
Yeah, it needs to. We need to have some sort of participant, someone who wants to use its mind to control the power.
And you're already doing this one, so you couldn't do a second one.
This one's doing this one, so we would need another host for another one. Like, I would need to
But, like,
control.
A living
One of
host and not a
us?
mechanical one that you can
Yeah,
just
it
build.
needs to have a.
So like one of
us. But it would be very difficult,
And dangerous.
To remind
very
you,
oppressive.
reminding Zach, with the controllers in Vogma who are responsible for controlling the constructs for the Nexus, split into 2 nexuses there. It's like it's a full-time job. They have to apply 24/7, 365 conscious willpower to control the nexus, and so it's something that they are trained for.
Yeah.
It's would basically, if one of you were to do it, you wouldn't be able to be a player in the game anymore.
Gotcha.
This is
Gotcha.
So he says like
Your
this
whole
is a,
thing would be controlling that nexus.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is
okay,
not
okay.
a trivial
It's
task.
not something one of us can just volunteer to do.
So
Unless we want to do that for the rest of our lives and nothing else.
So controlling another one, I mean, we could probably trade it. Maybe contain a different one. It like looks at the construct now with this new idea, but I mean, then we're just going 1 for 1. I don't know. I would need to.
We need to find a way to neutralize it.
Yeah. Well, we did that with the cold one, right?
I don't think we were able to do anything with the cold one. We just kind of walked away without knowing what it was.
Something was trying to emerge from the cold one, and
Right.
you beat that back.
We destroyed whatever it was that was trying to come out of it, but we didn't.
And the seal
Close
hasn't
it.
been fully broken on that.
Ah, I see.
So
Sorry if I'm not totally understanding. This is all a bit beyond me.
It's very ancient magic. It's a bit beyond all of us.
That reminds me of something that I didn't understand about what you were saying. So, the League of Terrors wants the world back the way that it used to be during the Age of Tyranny, right? You know, the dragons want Stratos back,
As far
the
as
giants
we know.
want,
Yeah.
etc., etc. But that's not what the primordial elemental forces want. I think they also wanted the world back. How are these two
I have a theory.
working together?
So, this is not founded on anything except these observations, but the League of Terror has access to ships. They have access to other worlds. So they may not care about this one. They may have a bargain to give this one back to the Primordials in exchange for something.
That would make some sense.
Because they have other places they could be.
I mean, fair point. The Primordials made this one. They could make another.
Sure. At what cost? So, yeah. That's my theory.
So we need to learn more about the primordials in order to understand the magics, or what magic was used on the nexuses to seal them.
And not look at my dad a little bit for this part. Like,
Yeah, he's kind of looking around.
Yeah. Yep. Sounds like a good idea to me.
Because if we have that information, perhaps we could do something about the.
If only we had that information.
So here's my best guess, is that Cephalosk is a cleric, right? And I remember him saying something about this when he was interfering with the Wind Nexus. Something about his gods were helping him to do that. We don't really have it, I guess. Why don't we have someone with divine power? So it might be, Evelyn, you might be our best at this.
I mean, I can try, but if the divines that I have contact with can't do anything about the Wind Nexus, then I don't know. The Weaver needed me to save Erudition, not the other way around.
Either way, you did save Erudition.
Well, we did it together.
Just think that maybe it's not a matter of learning how to do it, it's a matter of harnessing the right power, which is, you're probably our best bet there.
I think, as you say that, Ellen's expression kind of darkens slightly.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe you'd have to roll a high insight check to notice.
I'll give it a shot.
Nope.
Doesn't have to try.
How high are we talking? Would a natural 20 do?
Yeah, natural 20.
Would a natural 1 do it from our end?
Which works out to a 24.
You got a 1, I got a 10, you got a 20.
Oh wait, I'll do it just for funsies. What is it, insight?
Yeah.
23!
Jesus. I mean,
What's
yeah.
your bonus to insight?
I was gonna
Plus
set.
5.
Wow, it's hard.
I was gonna set the DC at 20, so you know. Yeah. I think that you saying that makes Elwyn very uncomfortable, and I think you see an uncertainty and a fear in her expression that you're not used to seeing, because she's usually very poised and she keeps everything on lock, which is what apparently the rest of the room doesn't see any change.
Well,
In any case, we should determine what our options are before we even leave Amberhearth. I know that the library has gotten set up in town. Perhaps Adrix can help us with some research into primordials or any information about the nexuses that could help us.
alright, yeah. You'd spend some time doing that.
And I'll begin planning and preparing for a expedition over to Freyden. Just let me know which seekers I can take with me from the recruits.
Right. That reminds me, I do want to check in on Eustace. Did he go back home with his parents yesterday?
I believe so.
Maybe I'll go and have a visit today. And I'll let the council know I want to meet with him.
Okay.
Y'all are welcome to come with me to that too. If we hold a council meeting, of course.
Okay. If it seems like this conversation is wrapping up, we can go off to do individual things in the city. It's just a matter of who wants to go first.
Well, so not necessarily for downtime activities, right?
Yeah, I mean, it can be scenes, or if you've got a downtime activity.
Yeah, I
do.
do want to, once we kind of start dispersing, Bert's going to approach his dad, his father, and be like, hey, can we, like...
Yeah, he's
touch
happy to
base?
go off with you to, like, a private room where he can kind of drop the act a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
I'm really not getting the hang of that accent.
I think you're doing great.
Good enough so far, but it will be good to be out of the city on a diplomatic mission where I can be myself.
That's what I was thinking too. I'm glad that you proposed that. I think it'd be good. Yeah, it'd be good to kind of get away from here, you know, with all the, especially since you were kind of, you know, imprisoned here and all that, so.
Yeah, he nods.
How's he doing, by the way?
Health-wise, he's been here for about a month. You're starting to see him, because he was, like, pretty thin and, like, wasted away, and he had, like, bruises that looked like they'd been there for a long time, things like that. His color's starting to return to normal. He's starting to fill back out. I wouldn't say he's, like, perfectly healthy just yet, but he's looking a lot better.
So I think he gives him, like, an appraising look, kind of worried, and he's like, are you, like, okay for this? Do you need some time still before you set out?
He nods and says, I think this will be very good for me. As much as I've enjoyed my quiet time in this keep, you know how my mind works. You got your mind from me. I like to have something to apply to it, and I am running out of things to do here. It would be nice for me to have a puzzle to pick at.
Yeah, he nods. Do you want me to make, like, I don't know, bending stones or anything for us to keep in touch?
Yeah, he considers that and says, or perhaps we could speak with that friend of yours who runs the magic item shop.
That too.
That's also an option.
I think we're going to do that anyways for seeing how she can whisk herself back and forth, and if we can, you know...
It would be good to have a means of communicating over a long distance. I can't say what will happen when I meet with the King and Queen of Freyden. I've met with them once or twice before, and they're perfectly fine people, but it would be nice to be able to get your input based on what I learn when I speak with them.
I'm certain we can find a solution. Shouldn't be a problem. So, one other thing. What's your take on this Nexus business?
I've done some degree of study of the Nexuses that we have back home, and
Yeah.
your friend Embers hoped that your other friend Elwyn might be able to reapply the seal. I think, unless there's something I don't know about your friend Elwyn, it might be more difficult than Embers thinks. As I understand it, the seals were placed by the gods themselves, not followers of the gods, which is in part why they're so difficult to break. Why it's so dangerous that this Cephalosk individual is doing so. I won't say it isn't possible, but from what I understand, it will be difficult if you wish to reseal them.
Well,
And the other problem with that plan is it's clear that our enemy knows how to break that seal, so it feels like a temporary stopgap at best.
unless we applied some different type of thing. But when we utilize the power, we're not tampering the seal, right?
No.
Yeah. We're sort of cheating, right? But
We've placed the thing wholesale into constructs.
right.
He kind of glances down at the little wind construct and says, I assume that's precisely what you've done here.
That's what we've done here. Yeah. But when we did that before, did you have any contact with the Primordials? Beyond?
He shakes his head and says, Vogma's constructs have been its guardians for longer than my reign.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, there's no records of...
The Nexuses are conduits directly to the elemental planes, and the elemental planes are the fabled realm of these primordials. They were, according to history, banished there by the gods when the gods claimed this world for themselves. Yeah, I mean, it would make sense that with there being a conduit, perhaps there would be a way for contact to come through, but it has never happened in Vogma as far as I am aware.
That's what I thought too, but I wasn't sure. I mean,
we also never tampered with the Nexuses to this degree.
At this point, I mean, I know that we both know how the discussion went earlier, but is there really a point to going to the Nexus that's in Valera, if it's already been broken? I feel like we're just,
He thinks on that for a long moment, and he says, after some thought, think about the condition Erudition was in when the seal was only temporarily broken. Before you got there, before Cephalosk could do his thing. Winds were erupting all the way here to the surface, as I understand it.
right.
The seal is now fully broken over Philareth.
Yeah.
The city will be in plight. I think there's a lot of good that could be done by going there, whether the seal's broken or not. The other thing I will say, we don't have experience with our enemies fully succeeding in their plans, breaking one of these seals, which means we don't know that that's the extent of what they intend to do with the Nexus.
I mean, I thought it was, that to me seemed pretty clear with what we saw in the Wind Nexus, right? Like,
He shrugs. It's entirely possible that breaking the seal is step one of a larger plan.
yeah, I think he just nods along.
I think there's value in going to sea and learning what we can.
Yeah, I mean, we have the right group for it. I think it's going to be very dangerous, though.
I agree. I think it's something that, if you're going to go, you and your team ought to prepare as thoroughly as you can for.
Yes. I feel like we're just going in from one fire to another. But, I mean, we kind of signed up for this, too. Okay. Well, I guess I'll... Did you want to come with to Nadia's shop, or do you want us to handle that?
No. I want to begin drawing up a plan for my diplomacy and the things I will need to prepare and bring. So I'm going to do a little bit of work here. But if you can inquire about some means of communication.
I can do that. And transportation.
Yeah, he nods.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Should have bought the car.
And I think he, like... For just, like... Yeah, we should have. He kind of stands there awkwardly, and then he just kind of goes in for a hug. And then...
Yeah, he gives you, like, a full embrace.
Yeah.
Kind of squeezes you tight.
And he just, like, whispers, like, I'm really glad you're here. And then... He heads out.
If you look back, your father is kind of watching you until you're out of sight.
Yeah.
With a kind of a bittersweet smile. Okay. Where to next?
Well, should I go visit Eustace? Same day?
Yep.
Same day.
Okay. As the first person to head out from the keep opens the door, you run headfirst into a small figure at the door who was poised to knock. A gnome in like a button-up jacket with it's just kind of like a uniform jacket, and it says on the kind of like on the side of it there's a patch that says Thimblefoot Industries. And there is a big crate kind of behind the gnome, and he just says, I've got a delivery for Embers of White Ash, 1 sewing machine.
Oh, well, that was real fast.
Yep, we got a lot of orders here from this festival, and
well, great. I'm
so
really happy.
we're delivering as many as we can, as quickly as we can.
Wonderful. Yeah. Can you just take it inside? Ambers, your sewing machine is here.
It was as...
Embers is there like 2 seconds later.
Yeah. Like before Ellen's even done saying what it is.
It was all I could do to get it off of the cart, so I'm going to leave it to you to bring it inside.
All right. Torin!
Torin!
Alright, you too!
Excited.
I'm just heading out to town, but y'all can take care of this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, alright.
Come on, let's bring it up to the sewing room.
Okay, he... Yeah.
Yeah, I
Picks
mean,
it
you
up.
and Torin are both ridiculously
Yeah.
strong. So, you managed to pick it up, but it does have to go upstairs.
Yeah.
So it is a little bit
I'm glad I'm not here for
unwieldy.
that. Bye! Good luck!
But yeah, you get the sewing machine upstairs, and kind of with a crowbar break open the box, and inside is a beautiful, brand new sewing machine.
Yay!
I am definitely going to have to learn how to use this at some point.
There's a manual. It's a very thick manual.
That's like what your downtime activity
Yeah.
turns into.
Oh my gosh.
Now proficient in sewing
Imagine the
machine.
complications that go with reading a manual using a sewing machine.
Yeah, so I go down into town. I think who would I talk to if I want to set up a council meeting or call a council meeting? Do I have to go down to the Hearthstone?
Yeah, if you go down to Hearth Hall, you could speak with, I think, maybe... let's see.
I'm the front desk worker there, so...
Not the only one, surely.
You could maybe bump into Old Phil, who's that middle-aged centaur who coordinates volunteer efforts down there. He's got good connections with the whole council, so...
Right, so yeah, and
if
we
you
don't
bump
have
in
to
with
play
him,
it out.
You could spread the word.
Yeah, we don't have to play it out, but I'll leave a word for him that I'd like to call a council meeting, and then head off to Eustace's house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Eustace, I think, lives in like a farmhouse, kind of on the edge of town, where there's like a lot of farmland and things like that.
I'll bring like a basket of muffins or something that I made.
You arrive, and you can see already his mother and father are already out in the fields with Eustace's one little sister, who I now need to name. Hold on. We had another. Oh, you know what? I had named his parents previously before today. That's okay.
Euphoria.
I'm gonna erase that.
Euonymus?
I need another EU name.
Europa.
It's a girl's name?
Mm-hmm.
So that Eugene wouldn't get it then.
I'll come up with it later.
You. Wait, a EU name?
I feel like we had another one earlier.
Euripides? Isn't that like a name? Like a god name?
Eurydice?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's something like that.
Yeah.
Is that spelled EU?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, we got there.
So his parents, Eudora and Eugene, good grapes, and his little sister, Eurydice, are out in the field. And Eustace is there as well, kind of helping get things off the ground for the morning.
I think Ellen will kind of wave, and she brought a basket of muffins because, like, you're not supposed to visit someone's house without bringing something. And when she sees everyone's busy working, I think she sets the muffins down next to the door and rolls up her sleeves and goes in the field to help them.
Oh, okay. Eudora sees you coming and gives you a big wave.
Hi, good morning.
Elwyn, it's just a delight to see you. Thank you again so much for everything you did and your whole group did last night when Eustace was in trouble. I can't tell. I tried to get the boy to rest tonight, or this morning, but he just wouldn't stay in bed. Insisted on coming out into the farm.
I'm glad to see you're feeling better, Eustace.
Oh yeah, I'm doing great. Yep, I'm feeling fine.
Insight check. Because, like, that's not possible. 22.
Yeah, when he says that, he's like rubbing his shoulders.
Yeah. You know what? I brought some muffins, and I think, could you show me inside and show me where I can put them, please?
Yeah, I could do that. Yep.
All right.
And he kind of like, with a groan, sets down the like big crate of like gathered corn on the cob that he was hauling from one place to another, and kind of leads you into the kitchen. Yeah.
I'm just gonna borrow him for just a second. Thank you.
Take all the time you need. Get him to rest. Get him to sit down. Something. Get him a glass of milk.
That sounds lovely. Or maybe you can put on a pot of tea for me. Tea just sounds lovely.
Yep. I mean, at the mention of that, Eudora rushes and comes with you.
Yeah. So, and I'll kind of bring them both inside. Get Eustace to sit down and. Are you sure you're feeling all right after yesterday? That was quite intense. I've never seen anything like it.
To be honest, I'm a little sore. But...
Right.
I mean... I feel better than I feel like I should.
Do you remember anything more than what you told us yesterday?
He shakes his head. No, but ever since that happened, I've been able to do this. And he, like, flicks his hand up and electricity crackles between all 5 of his fingers.
Wow. That's impressive. That doesn't hurt you or anything like that?
No, it's just... I don't know. It just... I can do it. It doesn't hurt.
I see. Refresh my memory, Eustace. Are you the only one in your family who can do something like that?
Eudora chimes in from the kitchen where she's like tied an apron around herself and is getting the tea all set up.
Yeah.
As far as I know, no one in our family has ever been able to do magic. This is a first.
Do you know when it started?
Eustace kind of like furrows his brow. I mean, I don't know, a couple months ago?
Oh, so it's very recent. Well, what? Can you tell me about what was going on a couple months ago?
Well, it was before the winds. Yeah, it was like back in spring. Nothing really was going on. I mean, we were doing all the. What do you do in spring on the farm? You do you do the planting, right?
Planting, yeah.
we were doing all the planting and stuff, and
you sow and then later you reap.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it started with cold, like ice and stuff. I started waking up with like ice on my windows, and that was weird.
And then you started
And
to
then
be able to
little
do-
by little, I started to be able to do it consciously.
And then can you do wind stuff too?
Well, now I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he kind of like throws his arm out to the side and a small gust of wind bursts out of it.
That's interesting. That's really interesting.
Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Penny's dropping for me as well.
You getting the connection?
Oh, so like when he threw the ice knife and there was a little spark of electricity, it was heralding something happening.
Oh no, yeah, no, I got there
Yeah.
immediately. Yep.
Mhm.
Is there anything else you can do? Or is it just these 3 elements right now?
I mean, before yesterday, I couldn't do anything with the electricity. That's new. It's always been like wind and ice and snow and stuff.
I see.
But I mean, it's pretty cool, right? He does the
It's
sparks
really,
again.
it's really, really cool. It's really cool. But Eustace, I know that I'm glad that you're feeling better. I really, truly am. But I think for us spellcasters, it is very important to recognize when our bodies need rest. If you burn yourself out too much, you might lose the ability to do these things.
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen you and Tim and Torin and Embers and that fairy Tuppence. Like, I've seen you guys like go into big fights, and then the next morning you just wake up and you're refreshed and ready to go. And I want to do that too.
Well, you still have to sleep.
I did. Slept like 6 hours.
Okay, dear. Well, I think your mother would feel a lot better if you lay down for another hour at least before you start helping in the field today, all right?
Roll a persuasion check.
Man.
Oh, boy. Okay.
You have inspiration.
Well, I mean, that's a 13.
He deflates a little bit, but he says, "You're the boss, I guess."
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, he kind of sulks off to his bedroom.
And after he goes, I think I go to help his mom with the tea. And I say, it's really interesting, these powers. Is there anything peculiar about Eustace? Something that might connect him to the world in a strange way?
Well, I mean, I think we always knew he was special. He's a great boy.
He is a great boy, and we love having him. And these powers, they're really incredible, and I just want to fully understand them so I can teach him better.
I mean,
What is it about him that made you realize he was special?
nothing really. I mean, he's just always been the best son we could have asked for,
He is a good boy.
He's smart, he's strong, he's diligent, he's loyal, he's honest, he's very good, but honestly, this whole magic thing took us by as much surprise as it seems to be taking you. As far as I know, it comes out of nowhere. No one in our family's ever been able to do anything remotely like that. We're farmers, generations going back on both sides of the family.
Do you mind if I ask you a personal question?
Sure, by all means. She pours the tea and kind of hands you your cup.
Can you tell me what it was like giving birth to him when he was born? Was there anything out of the ordinary? During your pregnancy, was it difficult? Was it?
Well, he was the first one, and the first one's always a little bit of trouble.
As I've been told.
But, well, overall, the pregnancy was what everyone told me to expect. He was born on the day of... Well, it was a blizzard. And I remember it was strange because there were flashes of lightning in the blizzard, which not something you usually see, but I didn't think much of it. Is that something?
Well, it seems like a blessing from the gods at the very least. Maybe a good sign.
I was a little bit preoccupied at the time. I really didn't think anything of it.
I'm
and
sure.
It still seems a bit coincidental.
He is a good boy. And I promise you, I think Elwyn reaches out and puts her hand on top of hers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the very best care of him. Make sure that he can control this.
If I've seen what you and your friends can do, I don't have any doubt that he's in good hands. So it'll be really good for someone in our family to get out of the city and see more of the world.
Indeed.
Well, he's already seen more of it than I or his father have. Went down to that underground city. That sounds marvelous.
That's true. And I hear he did quite a good job on his first mission.
That's what the Dragonborn man said.
Yes, he should be very proud.
His commander, Torrent, was it?
Yes, that's right. Well, thank you very much for the tea. I won't take up any more of your time. I know you have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, well, we do have to reap all the things that we sowed, so to speak.
Indeed. Indeed. And I think Elwyn would just cast guidance on her to give her a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A little bit more.
She stands a little bit taller.
And
what ability?
Dexterity? Constitution? I don't know.
Thank you for the muffins as well.
Of course,
definitely
please
make sure
enjoy
that
them.
Eurydice is gonna. She's very much going to enjoy these.
I hope you all do. It's my pleasure. Goodbye.
All right. Take care.
And you do let me know if Eustace doesn't rest enough. I'll come down here and talk to him.
It is a handy trick to be able to pull the boss card. He's stopped listening to me when I give advice. He's that age.
It was inevitable, I'm sure. Good luck today.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you.
She kind of waves the entire time you're going down the lane.
Yeah, I mean, Ellen will obviously share what she learned with the rest of the group and what her suspicions are as far as, I think that night, maybe at dinner when everyone's gathered around the table, she says, how do y'all feel about bringing Eustace to Vidun with us?
He's a little green, isn't he?
Yes, he is. But given what happened and what I know now, I'm more worried about leaving him here unsupervised.
Not unsupervised, he's got torn and the rest of it hurts.
But if another nexus should open up while we're gone, I shudder to think. And who knows what's going to happen at this one and how it's going to affect him. I would feel more comfortable if he was with us.
Well, Elwyn, this is potentially not the first Nexus that's been tampered with, but this is the first time that happened to Eustace, so maybe it won't happen again?
Well, it seems that he was obtaining powers every time there was something happening, right? But this time, Cephalos did something, right? To that Nexus?
It's hurt, so I think.
Right? That's what was triggering this? Who's to say he won't try it again
I mean,
while we're gone?
yeah. He might.
I mean, we left the cold Nexus unprotected.
Yeah, you might want to get word to Hakan or something.
It's not a bad idea.
Oh no.
We don't need to decide now. I just wanted to know how you all, what you all thought about it.
I have reservations about bringing him to a situation as dangerous as what we're likely to face.
Yeah, I don't really like
well,
the idea either.
That's true.
Hey, he's good for going, back and forth to Erudition, and there's a rumor that Art heard that I'd like them to go investigate. That seems more his speed. I'm referring to there's a what was it? Some monster on the outskirts of the city that was harming.
Let me pull up my
something?
rumors here. It was Art had overheard a mother saying to her children not to play up by the old quarry because scouts from Shovel-Sharp Citadel have reported sightings of a huge slithering monster living in the woods up there.
Mm-hmm.
It's too dangerous for kids like you. If you want to play in the water, go to Lake Solstead.
Yeah, I'd like them here dealing with Amberheart problems.
Well, we're still gonna have to send one of them to Freyden
It's true.
with my uncle.
True.
And we'll have to decide which one of them, or more of them.
Well, I think it should be Norin's decision. He knows what he needs the most for these types of missions, I would think.
That's true. Anyway, we don't have to decide that today.
Maybe there's some magic item that we could leave behind with this in case something like this happens. Something that can contain
Roll an Arcana check.
If anything, we might be able to just let Torin know what we're worried about.
1 second. Oh no, a natural 1.
Oh no, I can't give you any information.
Can I reroll it somehow?
Do you have an ability that lets you reroll it?
No.
What a
If
shame.
only
Wait,
Elwood
actually,
would ever
I
use
do,
her
I
advantage.
think.
to give
I
it to
haven't
somebody.
needed it!
No, for like 3 seconds.
Listen, I am not holding on to it nearly half as long as some of you guys.
It's me.
Hold on.
This is not a desperate life or death roll over here.
No.
Like, move on.
No, it's saving throws only.
I might have been able to give Vert an idea, but
Maybe I'll ask
No,
Nadia
you have to
about it.
come
I
up
can't
with
think
your
of
own
anything.
ideas.
We could also just let Torin know what we're worried about, and maybe Torin will be enough to subdue him. Maybe there's some kind of item that we could throw on him to just take him out, incapacitate him.
Like dimensional shackles.
Alright, well, as long as we put something like that in place, I guess I'm alright leaving in here. I am worried, though. I wish I understood what his connection was.
Yeah. I have to ask Nadia about it.
Alright.
okay.
And see.
Who wants to do something next?
I would like to go. I don't know if I want to do this anymore. It seems so pointless at the moment now that we have all this Full stuff to deal with. But Hig did invite us to question the dragon tooths that they took into custody.
Oh yeah.
I
So-
feel like if that happens during the 2 weeks that we're prepping
Yeah.
to leave, we would absolutely want to.
Yeah. So Embers is going to take him up on that offer and bring Izzy along as they discuss, and anyone else is welcome to come if they're interested as well.
I'm
I can
probably
go
going
with
to be
you.
pretty busy, so I'll pass.
Yeah, I feel like Ellen would want to go, but she's probably also super busy with her other stuff.
I think Art is happy to be helpful in any way he
man.
can. What?
It's a good man, Art.
Okay. So you go to the warden's barracks where they're being kept in. They aren't really heavy duty cells or anything like that, but strong enough to hold a couple prisoners at this level. Let me get some music that's not too ominous. Let's maybe this one. Yeah, sure, this will do. And they're under guard by the wardens. I can't remember exactly how many of the Dragon Tooth Brotherhood you got, but there's 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
And you managed to get their leader let me find the information about them. Because I have that in my notes at least. It was a blue dragonborn named, well, I guess you didn't get a name, but a blue dragonborn woman. And so she's in probably a cell all by herself, and then the rest of the Dragontooth minions are kind of in a separate cell. And Hig kind of meets you at the entrance and says, Embers. So you're here to see what information you can get out of these Brotherhood members, I assume.
A little bit of that, a little bit of ministry.
All right, well, that's your prerogative to attempt. Unfortunately, they haven't been speaking to us much, but perhaps you'll have more luck. So I'll turn them over to you. And yeah, he kind of leaves the room and gives you and Art privacy, and Izzy as well.
Yeah.
I think I will say on your way over here, Izzy probably confided in you. Listen, Embers, ministry isn't really a thing that I've done before. I've never done this whole outreach thing.
Oh, I haven't either, but
Okay.
But I've been ministered to, which has to count for something, right?
I guess.
Did you know I spent 20 years in prison?
I heard that, yeah. I'll do my best. It's just not something I have experience with, and I wanted you to know that. Just since you're the one paying me, you should know what you're paying for.
You actually refused my money.
Well, because you gave me more money earlier.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Embers will look around at the Dragontooths. Is that what we're calling them?
Dragontooths is the correct plural for this game.
Okay.
Yep.
And I guess I'm going to start by just like rolling an insight check to see if there's anybody who clearly doesn't want to be here.
Okay, roll an insight check. Low DC.
17.
Every single person here does not want to be here.
But is there anybody who like looks like they regret taking part in this?
There's probably one or two of the like lower level guards who might be showing a little bit of regret at this point.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'd go up to them and say, hello. My name is Embers of White Ash.
Probably one of the ones who looks a little bit like regretful or ashamed opens their mouth to speak, but then another one who's kind of closer to the bars barks back at you. Nobody asked!
Okay. That's okay. I am going to keep talking though.
Doesn't mean we have to listen, right? Come on! And he like turns to gesture to the other ones, and a bunch of them are like, yeah! And then the guilty looking ones are like, yeah.
Can I try to like stop the little attitude thing by being all intimidating?
What do you want to do to be intimidating?
I was gonna say just stand there.
Maybe
just be like
comes out of your nose.
Just like maybe like growl a little bit. Oh yeah, a little smoke out of my nose. Like, you be quiet.
Okay, roll an intimidation check.
Yay.
That's one way to roll.
Yeah.
You intimidate the dice right off the table.
That's a 19 on the die.
Hey,
Yeah.
Plus 4.
that's better than minus
Using
2.
all our good rolls in the episode. Here we
It's
go.
better than a minus 2.
Yeah, that guy who was like close to the bar definitely goes, ugh, and like shrinks back. Okay,
I'm gonna listen to her now. Got it?
Maybe we'll listen a little.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
And the Dragonborn woman in the cell nearby glares through the bars at the other ones, but doesn't say anything. She's keeping her mouth shut.
So really what we wanted to do was find out what drove the decision to get in a big fight in the middle of a celebration day.
They all kind of look at each other, and the one who was like all attitude before is like shaking his head. But one of the guilty ones in the back kind of just quietly, and his voice like cracks a little bit as he starts talking. Well, and he gets a glare, but he keeps going. The Clouder, they moved on our territory, and so we had to strike back. The bosses said we had to strike back. So we did.
What do you think would have happened if you hadn't listened to your boss?
He looks over at the like blue-scaled dragonborn woman who's just glaring in this direction, and then he kind of sheepishly looks back at you and kind of draws a finger across his throat and makes a noise.
Well, I have a boss too, but I don't think my boss would do that to me if I decide not to do something that he told me to. I think we would talk it out instead. You ever feel like maybe that might be a sign that you're in the wrong place?
The sheepish-looking ones are nodding along, and they are starting to attract glares from all the rest. Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
Don't worry about them. They can't do anything as long as my friend is here.
He's just like looking extra tall,
They look at Art. Is that true? Can you stop them from hurting us? Could you get us in like a different cell or something?
Is there a different cell to put them in? Or
there's like maybe 2 more cells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would look back at Hig. Is Hig here?
Hig gave you the room.
Okay. Do I have the keys from Hig?
No, but like if you go out and ask for them, Hig gives you the keys.
I'll do that.
Yeah. Just don't let him out. Or,
sure.
Well, like out. If you need to move them around, that's fine.
Yeah. That's all we're doing. Yeah, and I'll see the keys. I'll like move these other 2 to a separate. All right. Well,
I don't need to be.
I know.
I was like,
no, embody the character. I love it.
Yeah, just growling at the microphone.
Sitting here with his arms folded.
So I know that the Dragon Tooths are sort of followers of Tiamat. Is that right?
I mean, not quite.
You want to explain it to me if I'm misunderstanding?
It's more about like the dragons. They just think like the dragons. It was great when they were in control, and our lives kind of suck now, and maybe it'd be better if the dragons were in control again. Like the dragons had money, and, like took care of their people. I don't know. Our lives suck now, and we think they might be better under different management.
Well, I brought someone who knows a lot about dragons. Izzy, do you want to say anything?
She comes over and whispers, I don't know a lot about dragons, actually. You'd be surprised how little that factors into the teachings of Tiamat.
Really?
Yeah, it's more about... Let me pull up the teachings of Tiamat.
Memories changes track. I know someone who knows a lot about self-improvement and finding a better station in life. And is like looking back at Izzy like, is this right?
Yeah, she whispers, the tenets of Tiamat, you're supposed to like amass wealth but be frugal in your spending. It's about taking pride in yourself and suffering no indignity, to
some of those
yourself and your honor. It's like letting your passions and desires be driving forces in your life and then using them to improve your life, things like that.
Okay. Maybe this isn't the best message to be sending to people.
I think maybe I can spin it.
Go for it.
She like composes herself and kind of comes and stands in front of this cell and says, look, you said your lives suck now. And my life once sucked too. I believe it or not, I came from nothing. And now I'm very rich. My boss here, and she points to Embers, gave me 100 gold recently as a bonus, just for doing a pretty okay job. And I've invested that money, and I'm turning it into more money. My life's pretty good right now. And your life could be good too. But it takes a little bit of turning around. It didn't just happen overnight for me. I put in the work. I got better myself. And I improved my surroundings. And I think you could too. And then she looks back at Embers like,
Yeah.
did that work?
Yeah. So yeah, there are all sorts of ways to improve your lot in life. There are all sorts of things you can do to improve your situation that maybe aren't getting in a big fight in the middle of a square on a festival day.
I mean, the hobgoblin woman talks a lot of sense. I'd like to have 100 gold too. I wouldn't say no to that.
I don't have 100 gold on me.
I mean, he kind of nods like, yeah, that should be expected. Like, why would you give it to him anyways?
Because it's Embers.
But he kind of like comes a little closer to the bars and says, I mean, I guess I'd be willing to listen a bit more if there's more to be said, at least.
Yeah. I'm just going to try to minister to this guy, tell him just like,
Okay.
Listen, I used to be where you are and blah, 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 all this stuff.
Roll, I mean, I guess let's just do it as a charisma check.
Okay.
Can I help by, like, because I can speak to this, like, a little,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
You
can I
benefited
give
from sort of the
advantage?
same ministry.
Yeah. And,
Like-
like, the whole, like, we were in jail,
Yeah.
now we're in this
Yeah,
position.
I
like,
think this is part of what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
Izzy's
Really-
helping too.
Really excited
Wherever
for
she's
everything.
at.
So you can roll 3 dice because
Disciples.
this is helping? Alright, straight charisma, which is exactly the same as all my other
The
charisma
church
based
boy
skills.
dash.
-2.
There's no world in which this doesn't have a -2.
That's fair.
But I got an 18 on dice, so it's a 16.
Okay.
Always happens with charisma checks.
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Always recruiting and stuff.
Always.
Yeah, they listen, like with rapt attention. But all the while, the blue dragonborn woman is just glaring in this direction, and you can tell that that's detracting a little bit from their ability to like truly absorb what you're saying. Like they're listening, they're trying to take it in. They want to be out of their situation, and they see a way out through you.
Mm-hmm.
But there is also like the eyes in the back of their head that they're dealing with.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll just address her. It says, hi, I don't think we've properly been introduced.
She turns her eyes to you, taking them off of her underlings for the first time, and doesn't say anything, just glares at you.
Mm-hmm. You also like dragons?
Rolls her eyes.
Okay. Do you think that the people here are doing really super well under your leadership?
I think things would have gone a lot better if you and your friends didn't get involved.
Well,
And I think the Horde Steward is not going to let me languish here for long. I'll be out before you know it. And then she goes back to silence.
Do we get a sense that like she really like just firm in her convictions and in her beliefs of this like system?
You can roll an insight check.
Dirty 20.
Oh, that's really good.
okay.
When the like lower level underlings were saying like our lives suck now and they might be better under dragons, like there were a couple eye rolls from her. Like you get the sense that she thinks that's like that's the belief that like the novice level initiates in the
Yeah, like a
Dragon
very
Tooth Brotherhood
surface
have.
level understanding. Yeah.
You don't necessarily think that like that's her full motivation for being where she is. It might be part of it. Yeah, but it's not all of it.
Gotcha.
Well, do you have any other further explanation about why there was a big fight in the middle of the square?
You're asking the Dragonborn woman?
Yeah.
The Horde Steward sent us to deliver their regards, and we did. The Clouder got the message regardless of how successful we were. Stay out of our territory, and we won't fuck with you.
Well, you know, the Clouder got off pretty well. I think Embers looks around and is like, I don't see any of them in here.
Yeah, she kind of like takes an inhale and then like closes her mouth again.
Sounded good.
So, if there was a message to be gleaned from that fight, kind of looks to me like the Clouder don't have that much to be afraid of.
She like turns her glare back on you and says, "Look, if you want to ask me what it looks like to me, it looks to me like the Clouder has powerful friends in their pocket. That's you. And it looks like you are also trying to be buddy-buddy with the Wardens. How long do you think you can keep that up?"
I don't think I'm very good friends with the Wardens at all.
They let you in here to talk to us. Without any sort of supervision, she looks around. I don't see any Wardens. They must trust you. I don't imagine they'll continue to trust you if they find out you've got connections to the Clouder. That's what it sounds like to me.
This is a threat, right? She's
Yes,
like
this is a threat.
Threatening to tell the Wardens. It's like, hey, I figured out that like this person who's on the council is like in cahoots with the Clouder.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
Yep. It's an intimidation.
Yeah, well, we'll see who they believe.
Yes, we will.
I think I'd just turn back to Izzy and say like, I think I'm gonna be pretty busy with some stuff soon. I don't think I can come back here every day. Would you mind spending a little bit of time every day with these two?
Yeah, I guess so. I could do that.
All right, thank
Sure.
you. We'll have another mission for you pretty soon, I think. But until then.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing anything at the keep other than daily training with Sergeant Torin, so...
Sergeant?
Yeah, I heard him commander earlier.
Rank
I think he's also been captain. It's very inconsistent.
I love that.
No one knows what
Yeah.
the official title is.
Yeah, and that's as far as I think I can take this. Do you have anything more you want to
Where
do?
does it go?
I think Art was really here to like back you
Yeah.
up, but he wasn't really sure what the intention was, or like I don't think he fully knows the history of like this group.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I would just like leave the two, or everybody really is saying like, listen, if there's one thing I know in this world, it's that everybody gets a second chance. And I'm going to make sure that any of you who want that second chance can get it.
And I'm writing down in my notes that 2 or 3 of them were receptive to the
Yeah.
message.
Any of you.
The the Dragonborn woman, like snorts at that, and like little bursts of electricity kind of ripple across her nostrils.
Yeah. All right. I think I'm done here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then I think the time comes for a council meeting per Elwyn's arrangement. Who all wants to go to this council meeting? This is the big one where Elwyn's going to share all the information about the League of Terrors and everything like that.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there.
I'll go there as bachelor.
I'm not a part of the council, so should I go
You
to the
could come
keep?
and sit.
You could sit and
Yeah.
observe.
And observe. I think there's a place you could observe as like an honorary, if you wanted to. But you're welcome to stay at the Keep of Torin. Do other things. Up to you.
I'll go then. I'll go with y'all. Yeah. Just kind of see what's up, who's who. Yeah. I've been here for like 2 days. This is day 3.
Yeah.
And you're already involved in the community council. The group of you arrive at Hearth Hall, where there's that big room that the council meets in. When you walk in, it's a number of people you've already seen before. There's Emmeline Foxridge representing the Foxridge family. There's Lally representing the Farmers Guild. Valreas Duoth representing the Merchants and Traders Guild. Rurik Shovelsharp representing the Miners Guild. And there's Warden Commander Lavinia Cherrycheeks representing the Imperial Wardens, as well as Hescon Kimbatul representing Cultivation's Altar, the Church of Pelor within the city. And the group of them are already assembled here and kind of talking amongst themselves when the group of you arrive. And Emmeline kind of sees the group of you come in and says, Lady Owenamlos, our Emberhearth monarch. Thank you for calling this meeting. I hope this means you have some idea of what you want to do with the prize that you won as the monarch.
I do actually, but that is not why I've called the meeting.
Oh?
The other Seekers and I have some information we'd like to share with you regarding the attack the other day. The incident.
Everyone kind of seems to lean in a little bit. That.
I'm sure those of you who read the papers have read about our escapades in Port Horizon Shroud and on our way up here. The different...
Sorry.
the different adventures we had. And we have reason to believe that what happened at the festival the other day was also caused by the same perpetrators, the League of Terrors.
Emmeline kind of raises a hand. Does this mean that you think our troubles did not end with the winds being quelled? Is there more that the city has to fear? Are we in more threat of imminent destruction?
I'm not sure if imminent destruction is quite the right word. However, we do have more to fear. As a town, as a state, as a world, the League of Terrors they have grand ambitions that stretch even beyond the very boundaries of this star. It's much bigger than even we understand, but I do want it to inform you fine people of the Council of everything we know about the League of Terrors so that we may be prepared to protect our people and to recognize the signs should we see them.
I think Lally raises her hand next. I'm sorry, but what can we do against something that a group that has designs beyond our star?
It's not about...
I'm just a farmer.
I understand that, and it's not about what any one individual can do, but it's about what we as a group can do to come together and protect our own. What we as a group know, the knowledge to understand and to recognize what we're saying so that we can be informed.
There's some troubled expressions all around, but...
Please, hold your questions until after we've finished explaining. And I think Owen takes the opportunity to launch into the full explanation of everything she knows, including which groups are involved and like what they've done so far and what their proposed goals have been, and right down to the fact that the nexuses that have been activated were what was causing problems here.
I think there's a lot of head scratching amongst the members of the council.
She tries to keep it very low level.
It seems like they follow it to an extent, but like they're still worried throughout. As you try to project like this calmer demeanor, can you roll a persuasion check?
Sure. Trying to bring back up my character sheet after the cat walked over my keyboard. Okay.
Can any of us like help her with that?
Yeah.
By like also explaining, or
If someone wants to help by jumping in to explain, that's fine. Yep.
Okay, so
You can take advantage.
I mean, this could have been an opportunity to use inspiration, but I'll take advantage. A free advantage from help.
Nobody help.
I'll take advantage from help. Oh yeah. Persuasion 23.
Damn.
Emmeline, once you're done speaking, Emmeline leans forward and says, addressing the room, not you.
Mm-hmm.
I can see the fear in all of your eyes, and I feel it myself as well. This is... What Lady Anonymous explains is big. It is dangerous, and it is beyond us. We are just one town. But our town is not new to standing up in the face of things that are bigger. When the Empire came here, we fought them. We lost. But we came through it together.
Can I make, just real quick, an insight check to see how Lavinia feels about that statement?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
18.
I think she cringes at it a little bit. Like she said, at the part where she says, like, we fought the Empire when they came here. Mm-hmm. Lavinia kind of like instinctively cringes at it, but then when she gets to the part we came through it together, there's like a slight nod from Lavinia as well. And Emmeline goes on, we came through it together, and we came out of it stronger. A stronger community, with bonds all the more powerful for it. I don't claim to understand half of what Lady Anonymous presents myself, but I know this community. That I do understand. And when we stand together, there's nothing we can't endure. These Silver Seekers have come to us, and they're members of our community. Can you roll an insight check at that part?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
What happened?
Charles is just causing all kinds of
Cat
trouble
walking
tonight.
over keyboard. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Sorry, everyone.
Oh yeah. Insight?
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready for this? 29.
Okay.
Jesus.
It would be hard for anyone but Elwyn to see. But when she says the Silver Seekers are part of our community, there's a waver in her voice and in her eyes. But she finishes the speech. We rally behind members of our community. We help them and we come through things together. And we'll do that again, no matter what comes our way. And that seems to put a good number of the people in the room at ease. But she fixes you with a look, a little bit of a squint.
I don't share this with you because I think that Amber Hearth is in danger of being targeted again. The Wind Nexus is contained. But I share this with you so that you may be forewarned of what might be to come in the coming months. We don't know what the League's next steps are. But we would appreciate any information that any of y'all hear or find on your own that you think might be related to them. We want to protect this town that has welcomed us with open arms.
I think you catch, especially with that insight check, you catch a lot of them looking at Emmeline rather than you.
Mm-hmm.
We also just, in general, believe that it's better to keep people informed rather than in the dark about things that could affect them. And so we didn't want you to not know what was happening.
Emmeline glances around at the rest of her council members, lingering on with her eyes on each of you, and she says, after receiving kind of a short nod from the rest of the council members, she says, "Then I have a very hard question for you, and I think it's best we get it out of the way before we continue." And she shuffles around in her bag and pulls out a couple of papers, which she sets on the table in front of her. And you see wanted posters for Adrix and Art.
Mm-hmm.
We need an explanation about this. And we need it now. And that's where we'll end today's episode.
Well, we have a week to come up with the answer to that question.
That's, yep.
2?
2 weeks.
2
2 weeks, yes, because we're off next week.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. We'll be back with that 2 weeks from now, Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Hope to see you then. Thank you, players, for playing as always. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.